Bringing you the voice and vision of custom culture and lifestyle, as seen through the eyes of this South Texas duo. Welcome to the Custom Couple. Jeremiah, welcome to the Custom Couple. What's going on, man?
Not a lot. Talking to you.
Hell yeah, hanging out in the recliner. I dig that. I need to get one.
Yeah, it's camo, so it hides the stains from the kids.
You can't beat this. You can't beat it.
No.
That is awesome, man. So tell me, where is your neck of the woods, man?
Out here in Owensville, Missouri, kind of, I guess, more toward the center of anything. Kind of out by Rolla, Missouri, Washington, Missouri area.
I don't know if I traveled through there when I went to St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis is about an hour to 45 minutes, but it all depends on what part of St. Louis, because St. Louis is pretty damn big.
So when I went up there, I went through Oklahoma first because I had to go meet up with some friends, and then I just cut over from Oklahoma into Missouri, and then all the way up to St. Louis,
So
and then you
took I-44 to St. Louis.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, then you passed. Rolla. You past Union and all that. So yeah, you weren't too far from me there.
Damn.
You went I-44 all the way up. Because whenever I go to Oklahoma, especially like Tulsa for the Starbird show, I just hit the interstate, and it's just a straight shot.
Yeah. And
It's about 5 hours down, but it's straight.
Oklahoma was my first experience with toll roads where they actually make you stop and pay.
Yes.
Because here in Texas, they just take your picture as you drive by the cameras, and then they send you the bill in the mail. In Oklahoma, I had to stop and actually pay somebody, and they only accept cash. And I was like, we don't do this to our people in Texas. And the lady just looked at me funny. She's like, well, it's still $14, but I don't know what to tell you.
So do you want to pass or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you go through like the Pikes Pass or whatever they call it, basically if you just drive through, they will get your license plate and just send you the bill anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, now I just carry cash on me everywhere I go to make sure I don't deal with that anymore.
It's definitely the first time I did it, because I went down to Claremore, Oklahoma to get my Yukon Denali because it had the 6.2 in it. And I got a real good deal, and that's what I used to haul my rat rod to all these shows. And as I was going down there, I kept running into them. I see signs like toll road or be prepared to stop for your toll booth or whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'd be driving for like 20 miles and I'm still seeing toll signs. I'm like, have I passed this damn thing already? What the hell? And then all of a sudden it just shows up out of nowhere like, hello.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but hey.
Yeah, I always forget that we have some toll roads around the Austin area whenever we go visit our friends up there. And then I remember like about 2 weeks later when we get the bill in the mail, I said, oh, yeah, forgot about that shit.
Pretty much.
But tell us about this rat rod that you've got, man. I've been loving all of the pictures that you've shared at the latest car shows and stuff that y'all have gone to. Where did you get this thing, man?
All right, so I was building a Mad Max style 69 Nova, and I was building it. I spent like a solid year getting it from a rusty piece of crap from a barn to running, driving, just a Mad Max looking Nova. Now, I started going to car shows with this car. First car I've actually been able to take to a car show that I was proud of. But a lot of people would look at it and they're like, oh, that's cool. That's different. But like, as far as like classes and stuff, you never really win anything unless nobody enters those classes, because like a Mad Max Nova really has no place like in a class other than, well, what is that? Special interest.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
you'd win something every once in a while because not a lot of things enter special interest. You know, they have their own genres, right? And it got to the point to where I was like, well, if I want to win anything big, or if I want, you know, people to look at this thing more, I'm gonna have to spend 10 grand in body work and paint. And I was like, and that's just not really me. So a buddy of mine had a rat rod. I've always loved them. Never really knew where to start. You know, fine bodies, you know, you got a custom frame, all this stuff, everything to go through. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to put my rat rod up for sale to buy one. This guy from Eureka messaged me, said he had a rat rod. And it was basically, it run and drove, but it was just the body that mine has, the frame. And then it had like a hacked out, cut out grill. And it was just, you know, it was a run and driving project basically. And I was like, hell yeah. So I went up and looked at it. It was everything the guy said it was. It didn't really run that great, but it ran. Had a 350 and it had carburetor issues. So I got it. Then I just started tearing it apart and doing me. I had to track down a grill shell, because the grill shell that I have, it's like a flat black and it's got pinstripes on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the insert itself looked like it was cut in half. Like, I don't know if the bottom rusted out. I don't know if it got hit and they just cut it to, you know, whatever. It didn't look right. So it took me forever to find an actual 35 grill insert, but I kept seeing these older cars for sale, and I kept going through all the pictures like, hey, we've got this and this and this. And I seen a full car that the guy was trying to sell for like $5,000. And I was like, man, is there any way you'd sell that grill shell? He's like, no, got to sell it as a whole. And I was like, all right, crap. And I actually had another guy comment on my comment on that post. He actually restored a 35 just like mine, except his is, you know, factory style, but it's like newer hot rod at the same time. And this guy owns a hot rod upholstery shop, and he's from Wisconsin. And he's like, hey, I think I have another one of those grills. He goes, give me your number. So I was like, sweet. Gave him my number. He called me, sent me some pictures of it. He's like, well, $300 and I can ship it to you. I was like, deal, I'll take it.
It's better than $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
The hunt was over for that. So luckily, you know, I got the whole grill shell assembly in. I just needed the insert. But it actually came with that bottom piece too, where it's got like the lip on it that goes to the fenders.
Yeah.
And I met a guy down there at Tulsa, Oklahoma this year, and I had to pinstripe that for me. So that's how the whole front end came together. But as far as like the motor, I wanted something old school. So we went with a tunnel ram big block. Buddy of mine actually had a supposedly 454 sitting in the corner of his garage. He was going to put it in a mud truck that he never did. Had the tunnel ram on it already. Well, it's this motor here. Turns out it was actually a 396 big block with a set of truck 454 heads on it.
Okay.
Which didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's a little weird, but yeah.
Yeah, very weird. So I was like, hell yeah, I scored, because this thing was supposed to be just a truck 454, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being a 396 big block. So I took the heads off of it, and it was already bored 60 over. So it was a 408.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, hell yeah, score. So I had to go track down some different heads for it, because these 454 heads, they wouldn't have given me like no compression. Ended up finding a set of Performance 402 heads off of, I don't know what they're off of. I got the casting numbers that my machine builder gave me. He gave me a list of stock heads that would work perfect for my build. So I told him, I was like, I want it to be loud, and it's going to burn tires and cruise the streets. That's it. I don't care what it makes. That's what it's got to do. So I ended up getting like the big mother thumper cam for it, which is why it sounds so obnoxiously amazing. And got trick flow push rods for it, had the heads completely redone. Got this thing put together. It dynoed out to be about 495 horsepower, 505 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow.
That's nuts, man.
So
Shit.
she's got a lot. She's got more than that thing needs, but it's fun.
Oh, of course. And then, of course, like all those late 20s to like mid 30s cars, there's no weight to them at all.
Yeah.
So you got an engine like that. It's just ripping.
Yeah. So again, when I got the car, it had like the old Corvette style rear end in it, which was basically like, the springboard style, like the sideways leaf spring.
Yeah.
It felt like the rear end was welded to the frame. Every crack in the road you hit, you swear something in your spine snapped. It was pretty rough. So,
yeah. I know that feeling.
Yeah. You ever heard it? You've heard of Jimmy Smooth, right?
Uh-huh.
Jim Davis?
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually seen his rat rod, the dually rat, handful. I seen it, and it was on a Facebook post at a car show he was at. And then I actually went and seen this thing, and I fell in love with it. That's actually one of the biggest inspirations on my rat rod. Whenever I got the rear end and everything to put in it, I was actually going to do a dually. The rear end that's in it now is a dually rear end. But unfortunately, the rear end was just too short. No matter how many spacers I put on it, I couldn't get the duals to fit. It just kept hanging up under the body. So I had to scratch that, and I ended up finding these wheels that I have now from Detroit Steel Wheel. I got on there because I wanted a old school steely, but I also wanted something that looked a little muscly. So I wanted that dish, and that's why it's got the real big, deep dish steel wheels in it. So they're custom made by Detroit Steel Wheel. They actually came raw, so I painted them red on the inside, left the barrel raw steel, threw some flat clear over it, and then I ordered the chrome rings, like the beauty rings that went on the outside, put those on it. So it's definitely a one of a kind. I've never seen those wheels before. They're a 20 by 12 with like the most negative offset I can get, obviously, because they got to stick out.
Right, yeah.
But the rear end in it now has a 410s in it. It's out of a 73 Ford 1-ton dually. My buddy Matt Cannon donated it to me, or Matt Penick. My bad. I know a lot of Matts. So
that's why I go by Lane.
Yeah, right. So Matt Penick, he actually helped me put this rear end the first time. There's some trial and error because it was we ended up 4-linking it, and I put some coilovers on it with some air shocks because for some weird reason, when I put the shocks on there, they just wasn't holding all the weight, and they were just bottoming out. So I was like, all right. So I made a dual bracket for it. I put some air shocks on there too to help hold the load. That thing rides pretty damn good. Going down the road, it's a world difference.
I bet. Yeah. No, I've been in some home built hot rods and rat rods and things of that nature, and yeah, a lot of times suspension is the last thing anybody thinks about. Like,
right?
Yeah, it's like, I got a frame with wheels.
The first time I took a ride in this one, it was the first thing I thought about because it's like, how can you ride in something that literally doesn't ride?
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah, a buddy of mine.
Nuts.
He built an entire car, and the last thing he did was suspension, and he just kind of like half-assed threw it together, and we took the first ride in it, and we hit the highway. I mean, this car is running great. We hit the highway, and it's got this death wobble from hell. I mean, the front wheels are completely coming off the ground, left to right, left to right, left to right, and I was like, man, this thing's going to flip itself over here in a minute. Now, we need to get the hell off the highway.
What kind of front end did he have in it? Was it an IFS or was it a straight axle?
It was a straight axle, and
Okay.
it was just he had something balanced wrong, something to do with his steering, actually. And I don't remember exactly what he ended up having to fix, but I remember that I was like, this is going to be my last ride. Yeah, no.
Yeah, a lot of the times when you get into these, I know like it definitely would have been easier to have the body off of the frame to do all the rear end work whenever we 4-linked it. Because this one here, it's got a custom Z frame on it, but when it came up, it actually ended right like maybe 8 inches after the Z. So there wasn't a lot of room to add anything back there. So I actually went to the steel yard and I bought some box tube steel, and I cut the ends open, shoved it in there, and I welded it up in there to extend it all the way out to the back. So I was able to do all my 4-link and stuff like that. I ended up I was going to do the triangulated 4-link with the bars up top.
Right, yeah.
But the first time we did that, it actually had to sit at such an angle like this that it looked retarded. Like, I was like, what in the hell is going on here? Because you couldn't drop it anymore. It was like lifted in the ass end. It was raked like hardcore. I was like, no, we're not doing this. So he cut the top bars off, and I made brackets and mounts to just do a parallel 4-link. And I actually went down to Orscheln's, and I got one of their double-ended tractor track bars. It's got like the what are they called? Now I'm drawing a blank.
That's all good, man.
The Heim joints. There we go.
Oh, I got you.
Because it had Heim joints on both sides. So I cut that in half, measured out how long my panhard bar needed to be, and then I just welded it that way. Both ends had Heim joints.
Yeah.
So it was an adjustable panhard bar. So got all that done, and actually just got the rear end put in. This is before I even put the second set of shocks on the back, because I was going up to the first Jimmy Smooth's Creepin' show, not this past year, but the year before that.
Uh-huh.
It was like the weekend before I was getting all this done. My trial run on that rear end was literally the next day when I left at 6 a.m. to haul ass down to Jim Smooth's Creepin' show. So it was just kind of like ride or die. It's either going to work or it didn't.
We've had those.
That's mostly all the time.
Yeah, it seems like every time we get something, like we have some place to be in it the next day. So yeah, we've had
Not so
those.
much that we have to be in it, but we're like, fuck it, let's just see what happens. Screw it. Like when
that's kind of how it was with me, because it's like I'm getting this done. Like I'm taking this to Jim Smooth's Creepin' show. Like he's one of the biggest reasons I wanted to build this rat rod. Him and my buddy Robbie was like, dude, you need a rat rod. You need to get a rat rod. And eventually I got one, and now we see where my madness has gone, and it seems to go over pretty well, because I always tell people, it's ADHD brain. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm always thinking hot rods. I'm always thinking, what can I do different that nobody else has done? Like the blower box that I built. The whole thing between that, or with that, is I kept going to shows, and I kept seeing a bunch of, high-rise blower boxes, but, like they had the single blowers on top of them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I seen the shotgun scoop that I have everywhere. Like, everybody's running that shotgun scoop. So I'm like, well, son of a bitch. Now I'm like everybody else. Like, even though mine had like 100 holes drilled in it and spikes sticking out of it, it's still pretty much just what everybody else had. So I was just like, well, son of a bitch. So I pondered on it for a couple days, and then I made that dual scoop box. I was like, all right, now how many sons of bitches have 2 of these motherfuckers? Nobody. I got a little extra with the little Harley Davidson twin scoops on top too, but I was like, in my head, I was thinking like a scorpion tail, like kind of sticking up there.
Right.
I thought it turned out pretty good. I get a lot of good reviews about it. I got some people that are like, man, it's a little extra.
It's not theirs.
Tell you.
Tell them not to buy it then. Jeez.
Yeah. My number one question is, how the hell do you see driving this down the road?
That was the first question I had when he showed it to me. I was like, how does he see? I'd be like, fuck, I guess I'm going to look out the window.
Well, the reason it's shaped and it comes up like this and then it curves is because I can see under that. Like, all this is open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why when I designed it, it comes up and then it, goes that way.
Yeah.
I can see
I still
the
got-
future of hot rodding, like including hidden cameras in the front ends of things, so you can completely block the driver's view and he can just drive by screen, basically, just like how you, back up your car.
Yeah, I was actually having that same conversation with a guy at work. I was like, eventually, because we were talking about this Australian car I seen online. It was a Ford something, but it was called Overkill. I'm sure you've probably seen it. It has two big old turbos on the side. It's purple.
Yes.
Big old blower.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, it's called Overkill. Well, I was watching a video of him doing burnouts, and I was like, where the fuck is this guy going? Because if you look out the window of that thing, you literally can't see shit. He's got a turbo here, a blower here, tubes going through here. And if you look on the other side, guess what? Another big ass turbo. So it's like,
Yeah.
how the hell this guy can't drive nowhere because he can't see shit. I can't even see nothing. But yeah, we were talking about that. We were talking about putting a camera on the front. They have like a big LCD TV screen or monitors or whatever as a windshield. So
Yeah.
we pretty much had that same idea, but I was like, man, that kind of sucked though. Like, what if you're going down the road and a bug hits that motherfucker?
Yeah.
And you just
Bug.
nothing.
Yeah. All you see is bug.
Right?
Well, I mean,
It's
pilots
kind of
do
funny
it.
that you said that because we had that same conversation like a couple days ago at work.
Yeah, I could see it going that direction for folks that want to build like crazy, obnoxious, like huge engines and stuff. But pilots do it. They fly by wire, and they basically get told, you can go up this high or down this low or that way left or that way right. And I think it'd be possible. I bet you there's cars out there that do it. And you just go by what's on the screen.
Yeah, most of the time they're probably those armored cars, stuff that you need to like
Right.
armor up.
Yeah.
I think tanks do that too.
Right. Yeah. There you
tanks
go.
do.
There you go. We'll get Johnny to build us one.
Yeah.
Johnny Chop Customs is going to build the custom couples tank.
No, thank you.
Okay. Lane's tank.
Hey, there you go. You can have it.
Just have him build you one of those like shutters that goes down like for your windshield, like dangerous situations. You just grab a handle and chink. Then it has like an LCD screen on it and your camera activates.
Love
Oh
it.
my god.
Oh, yeah. Johnny will hate that. I know he will.
No, I could just think of you just putting that down. It's like doop doop. You just see the little fucking camera.
The little radar.
Yeah.
Little radar comes up for no reason at all.
Stupid.
Oh, I love where this is going.
You gotta get a little extra with it. Like I don't know how much fog you guys get out there, but we get a shit ton up here. So it'd be cool to have like a thermal camera. Be like, screw it, we could see through everything.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hey, I bet it would work great for deer at night.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Take that out to the property. Oh, absolutely.
No.
The ideas are generating now.
Yeah. Well, that's my ADHD brain. That's why I got some wild shit. Like my mind never stops. I try, but it don't.
Hey, where did you pick up that Buick? It's a 55, right?
Yeah, it's a 55 Buick Super Special. I picked it up. I found it online at Kabul, Missouri.
Another Missouri car. Awesome.
Oh yeah, and that's been an interesting project so far. I'm still trying to get her to run again. Whenever I first got it, we drove it up on the trailer, but it needed a gas tank because the guy said the one that's in it, there's nothing wrong with it, but he can't get fuel out of it. First thing I'm thinking of is the sending unit in it. The
Yeah.
seal's probably dry rotted out. It's just sucking in air. It's not creating a vacuum for it.
Yeah.
But trying to get under that car to put straps or anything or do anything under that car is damn near impossible. And that tank is right there.
Yeah.
So I just went ahead and got a fuel cell for it because I was like, screw it. I'm going to drop this tank, lighten it up a little bit. So I put the fuel cell in there. I still haven't taken the old tank out yet. I was just trying to get it to run this past weekend.
Yeah, I saw you working on it a little bit.
Yeah. I went ahead and installed the new gas tank, put the new fuel line on it. Underneath of it's actually way cleaner than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to see, like panels rusted inside or something like that, but it was actually really clean under there.
A family
So
of mice
that's a
not
win.
paying rent.
Yeah, that's right. So that was a good find. And so I got the whole line run and everything, got up top, tried to start it, threw some gas in the car, nothing. So I tried for about 20 minutes, couldn't get any fire. I'm like, well, what the hell's going on here? Like, I know it's been sitting for a little bit. So I start checking the spark, no spark. All right. Still have an old point system in it. So,
Of course.
yeah, I found the coil wasn't sparking. The coil actually was cracked all the way along the top of the face. So I was like, yeah, that's definitely bad. We got a new coil, even replaced that little external capacitor on the top. And we're getting spark from the coil, but now it's not going through the distributor. But it's still the old point style, so I think it's time to order an updated distributor ignition system for it.
Yeah,
So
Petronics or something.
Yeah, I found one for like $180. Comes with wires. I can get an HEI one, but I'm like, well, I just bought a new coil. Fuck that. Like, I don't need one with a coil. I already did all this. Like, it's wired, ready to go.
Yeah.
So,
Are you gonna go like a gasser with it, or what's your plans for it?
well, right now it's still up for sale. I could use the income right now. Works a little slow, but I'm not going to let the car go for, nothing. Like, I got close to $4,000 into it. So considering I did all that work on it this weekend, I'm definitely not going to let it go for anything less than 38.
Yeah.
But if I don't get anything near it, because everybody wants to trade you crap nowadays. And
Of
Yeah.
course. That's how you and I met.
it's, yeah. Yeah, like, I felt bad on yours, though, because, like, I really wanted it, but I'm like, man, this guy's going to get screwed. So I was just like, well, it needs this and this and this. And I was just kind of, like, trying to talk you out of it. But at the same time, it was like, man, another rat rod would be awesome. But, like I said, I called you. We talked to each other on the phone about it a little bit, letting you know, kind of the rundown of everything it needs. It's definitely going to be a cool car when it does get up and going, but it probably needs quite a bit just to get it, reliable or drivable or whatever.
Yeah.
It's been sitting for God knows how long. Fuel system's good to go now, so that's good. But
Well,
as
yeah,
far
you put
as,
all
like,
that work into it.
yeah. A buddy of mine, Chet Horman, he actually just built a Buick Gasser. Actually had his pictures of his car and videos of us doing burnouts in that on my Restoberfest.
Hell yeah.
Picture when I uploaded all that stuff. But I asked him, I called him and asked what parts he had, because, his had a nail head in it too. And I asked him if he had a radiator, because this radiator's got a bunch of little cracks all over the top, and I don't think it's going to be fixable. Like, there's just way too many.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's got a radiator laying around, so I'm going to go down there and pick that one up. So that's definitely going to be a score. Those replacement radiators, they don't really make them anymore, but they make like the aluminum 4-core, 3-core ones.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
$400.
Yeah, they're expensive for sure, but yeah,
they're definitely worth it. But when everything's going slow and you're just trying to get it moving.
Yeah, no, I totally.
We're going to go as cheap as possible at the moment.
Yep. We'll worry about that later when we want to upgrade. But right now, I just needed to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really like the car. It kills me not to be able to do everything I want to it like immediately, because I'm just impatient as hell and I like building stuff. But unfortunately, we're human, and not all of us are Bill Gates, so we gotta wait, paycheck to paycheck.
We definitely know that one. We've been penny pinching like crazy, because we're about to get another car in the driveway.
Yes, mine.
Hers is finally coming home.
There's nothing wrong with that, because I've lost a lot of relationships over car stuff, because some women don't see the point in it. Me, I'm just kind of like, well, you're just trying to tell me to shut down my life, basically, and there's the door. So like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
No, when we met, he was kind of already, you were kind of at that stuff of like, I like it, I enjoy it, but I can just go to a show. And I'm like, are you fucking insane? You're keeping cars. Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She really did. She really did get me back into doing all of this. Not just cars, but everything that had to go with it. So, I mean, it was Sama that said, let's do a podcast and let's do, all of the shit that you used to do 5 years ago and stopped doing. And
well, heck yeah.
And I was like, all right,
she got
let's
a
roll
sister.
it.
I'm just joking, guys.
I have too much
yeah.
fun. I have too much fun with cars. I have too much fun and adrenaline getting to drive them, whether it's going fast or cruising. And then I just enjoy the fucking hunt when we're looking for parts in cars. I love hunting for cars and parts. That's my favorite thing. When they're like, nobody can find it. I'll find it in an hour. And I'll be like, this one right here, I already bought it. It's mine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
some parts are hard, but the hunt's definitely fun.
Mm-hmm.
So with the latest one that's coming home, her '59 Buick, we were looking at the videos that the guy sent us of the car. He did walk-arounds of the car and everything, and she immediately started pinpointing all of the things that were missing, and then got onto eBay and started finding all of those things. And I was like, "Where did you get this?" And she's like, "Well, I found 2 of them. This one's in better condition though, so I'm gonna get this one." And it's like, God damn, you didn't just find them; you found 2 of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I immediately made like a list of everything. I was like, ask him if he has these things. If he does not have them, I already have them in the cart. We're ready.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm actually looking for that other headlight bezel for that Buick. I found a couple, but they are just like way too overpriced because unfortunately this Buick, it doesn't have just the beauty ring. It's actually got like the teardrop blinker lens in it.
Yes.
So, it's not just a circle. It's got that little droop in it with the light goes in it. And that is hard to find. I know because I've checked eBay, I've checked Amazon, I've checked online. They don't make reproduction ones. I did find some on eBay, but they wanted like, I think $389 a piece for a used one. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying that.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
That is ridiculous.
At some point, eBay is going to start accepting children as payment. Yeah, there's some ridiculous amounts of money that go into cars from trying to find used parts on eBay.
Remember that trim piece I found? The one little trim piece on the back of my Buick. Like, it has a dent in it. I know I can get it fixed, but I was like, let me just see if I can find it. I found one for $400. I was like, fuck that. I'm good. Like,
yeah,
I ain't doing all that.
Yeah, that's kind of what's going on here.
For real, man. So, listeners out there, if you have decently priced Buick parts, let us know.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Let us know.
55 Buick Century, 55 Buick Special, 55 Supers.
Yeah. Yeah. So let Jeremiah know he needs your parts.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll just start doing Craigslist ads on the custom couple. Yeah. This is a custom couple after dark.
Featuring car
That's
parts.
right.
Featuring sexy car parts.
You didn't happen to catch my new license plate topper, did you?
I did not. Which one was that? I'm sure you sent me pictures of it, but I've gone through like all of our...
Well, considering it's a rat rod in big white letters, it says, "Please touch my junk."
Oh, I love it. I'm getting one tomorrow.
I thought it fit very well because like I let people sit in the car, like I don't worry about people scratching it. What are they going to do? Cause more rust? And that's one of the greatest things about owning a rat rod, is like everybody else, showing off their cars and stuff, they pretty much got a barricade around their crap because they don't want nobody getting near it. Me, on the other hand, I'm just like, hey, the pipes are hot. Watch your ass.
Yeah. You can touch it. You just don't want to.
Yeah. People ask all the time, hey, can I get a picture of that? Can I get my kids' picture of that? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I'll let the kids in the car. I'll let them sit in there and let them play around. I even like up on my windshield, I'll like set them up on the cowl so they can sit behind the motor on the windshield, and I'll let people get pictures of them and stuff like that too. Building that car and everything, taking it to all these shows, it's all about letting people have fun. What's really rewarding to me is seeing, like, especially like littler kids, like the next generation of hot rodders, you know, getting into these things, getting ideas, getting a passion about how cool is this old shit.
Exactly.
You know, and it's real rewarding, which is another reason I did all those stickers that I made. Not only to tag my buddies' beer coolers, but to give out to kids as kind of like a token, like, hey, remember the rat's nest, you know?
Oh yeah, that's the name of your car, right? The Rat's Nest.
Oh yeah, yep.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to include that in the description for the podcast so people know. That's another thing, man. When after you and I had met, and then I started following you on Facebook, and you started posting up pictures of your kids in your cars, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, we have to share this, and we have to get this out there, because that's one of the things that we're all about. You know, we take our little one to car shows any chance we get.
Yeah, she's been going to shows since she was 1.
Yeah,
and she remembers them. She remembers every single car she's ever seen. Oh yeah, no, she likes the pricey ones. She wants a '59 Cadillac, is what she wants.
She told her mother she wants a pink Cadillac.
She wants a pink, and I was like, well, because I originally wanted one, and then I was like, no, no, I want something new.
She's your little girl. You got to get her nothing but the best. You got to get Elvis's pink Cadillac.
Oh my God,
Elvis's pink Cadillac.
Well, no, I told her, I was like, but I wanted
nothing
one.
but the best.
I was like, I wanted one that was black, and she's like, well, we won't need one because we'll have mine. I was like, I mean, that's not. You're right. You're definitely right. But
she's smart. She
loves it.
Yeah.
She loves going. She loves seeing the car. She loves, hearing them, all the fun stuff. Like, she just loves it. She just doesn't like when you break down, because she'll give you hell for it.
Yeah. Yeah, we were riding in a caravan, and our president was up in the front, and he kept having electrical issues, and his car would just turn off. And the third time we pull over to try to fix this situation, and mind you, she was 3 at that time.
She's 3.
She was 3 years old, and she's like, he needs to get a new car. And I was like, wow.
She's like, he either needs to get a new one or he needs to fix it, because we need to go. And I was like, oh my God, okay, you go tell him that. I'm not going to tell him that.
I'm not telling him that. He knows now. He thinks it's hilarious now, but
that's funny.
I'm not telling him that. You go tell him that. And she did.
Yeah, she
told him.
Yeah.
But kids are so
my
honest.
Little girl, she's a diva more than anything. She just likes to dress up. And she likes the car. She likes sitting in the car. She likes playing with the car. She likes wiping the car down. Which it's funny when I say that, because people are like, it's a rat rod. Because I always like make this joke, like when people are polishing their crap up next to mine, and I'm like, hey, mine next. And they just kind of look at it like, yeah, okay. But like, I always give my kids a rag, and they'll wipe the wheels down, or they'll wipe the motor down, because that's pretty much it.
The rest of it requires a tetanus shot, and we don't have those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You should have got one of those when you were a kid, right? Didn't they mandate those in school?
I think they did. I think that's probably the last time I got one. Eek.
Pretty sure you're supposed to get that, like, every 4 to 6 years or some shit like that?
Every 10.
Yeah, every 10 years. But then
dang, I'm off.
In the hobbies that we have, we should probably get one yearly.
Nah. That's what makes you stronger.
You would think that we already have an immunity to it,
Yeah. I think so. I think I felt my jaw lock up a couple times, but then that was about it,
Yeah, your immune system's like, we got this.
We got this. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, my boy, he's 6, and he's the one that would have the smart ass comments, because there's nothing surprising coming out of this boy's mouth. Okay, like, I call him a cutie patootie all the time, and he hates it. Like straight up, like he'll be like, I am not a cutie patootie. I was like, yes you are. He goes, no, like, yes you are. He goes, you're a cutie patootie. I'm like, well, that's fine, because if I'm a cutie patootie, that means you're a cutie patootie, because you look like me. He goes, no, I have hair. I'm like, listen here, you little bastard.
Oh man. Oh, that is great.
That's Riker. Like, there's been plenty of times to where, like, I've broke down overheating or, something small that, when I was first getting this new engine broke in, my boy would look at me and be like, I thought you fixed this. I'm like, well, we're working on it. And they would pull over again because it didn't get fixed. And then he'd be like, again? I'm like,
I did
right,
fix
Mr.
it.
Hot Shot, how about you get out and fix it?
Yeah, that would be like me, like death gripping the steering wheel, going, be like, I did fix it. It was that same day you were being an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, when I put that new motor in, I actually forgot to put a hose from the water pump to the intake. Because like on your small blocks, you didn't need that. But on the big blocks, you do. And I forgot to put that hose between the water pump and the intake. I just had them blocked off. Didn't even think about it because I haven't run a big block in a long time. And she kept overheating. Well, in the process of this, I actually ordered a aluminum 4-core radiator with dual spall fans. I was like, screw it, because the radiator that was in it was out of an old International tractor. I actually still have that radiator sitting on the wall because, well, it's just cool. It cooled that 350 down pretty well, but I thought I didn't think it was doing enough for this big block, which is why I got this new one. And I'm glad I did because I've done shit ton of burnouts, as you guys have seen, because I've shared a lot of them to you. I've done a lot of burnouts. I have cruised this thing up and down this strip. A couple months ago, we went to Ottawa, Kansas for the cruise night. I forget what they call that. I got the sticker down there on the window. It's like the something Ottawa River Run, I think it was called. Yeah, we went down there, we did that, and we were driving up and down that strip for like 2 hours. And I only meant to take one lap, but there were so many cars, it was a stop and go game. So it was kind of like, shit. But, we had fun. My daughter, I've actually got a video of her. I opened the door because it was getting hot. And I had her on my lap, and we were just going like 5 miles an hour, if that. I had her sitting on my lap, and she was driving the car down the strip. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool, man. I love the fact that the family's involved.
I have to find that and send that to you.
Definitely. What have you got for a transmission in that thing?
Junkyard Turbo 350.
You can't beat them, can you? Like,
I've
had so many.
to break this thing because I want to put a 4-speed in it, so I can actually drive it further. Because right now, she's kind of like a crackhead on coke. When she sees a gas station, she's just like, more. Yeah, she doesn't like passing gas stations right now because it's got 411s with a 3-speed turbo 350. Highway speeds for me, it's like 45 mile an hour is like 2,800 RPM. Because if I go 55 or 60, I'm doing 32 to 34, and she's not happy. You can almost watch that gas gauge do this shit. It's like, we can't have that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the higher RPMs, like you're just kind of hearing it going, man, am I supposed to be revving up that high? Am I, I've had a bunch of cars where it's like, $3,000 was like kind of the sweet spot, yet it sounded like it was gonna freaking blow up in my face, like.
Right. Yeah, no, she screams. That's for sure. I actually ended up putting 8 mini motorcycle baffles in each pipe because me and my buddy Ted Bede, his name's Peanut, is what we call him. He actually helped me make my headers because I told him, I was like, "Yo, Peanut, I got something crazy." He's like, "I'm in," because that's Peanut. That's just the way he is, and. Because I told him, I was like, I need you to help me make my exhaust. And he goes, you got cash? We can get it done. All right, cool. So we go over to his place. We unload the car. We get it in there. And he's like, I already showed him kind of a picture on what I wanted. And we basically just kind of winged it from there. he actually had a rotor. He had some like old junk rotors. He welded rod to, and we set it by the car, and we kind of put my pipes, my lakesides, because everybody's got lakeside headers. But again, I'm different. Ain't nobody got 8 lakeside headers. I do. So we put 1 2 to 4 inch lakeside megaphone per cylinder, and I have them laid out like a winged trumpet kind of. So we kind of put them where we wanted them, tack welded them up to the this rod or whatever. Then we kind of moved them around, got them exactly where I wanted them, cut them, lifted it up, lowered, just played around with it until it looked good.
Yeah.
Then after that, I ordered 2 boxes of 90 degrees and random bends from Summit. Or no, it was not Summit. It was Speedway. Yeah, Speedway. So we got those. We just pretty much cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste.
Step back. Let's look at it. No. Let's try it again.
Yeah. It was interesting. There was a lot of cut, fuck.
Measuring never happens.
It was definitely interesting. But we got it, and I couldn't be more happy than the way they turned out. I get a lot of compliments off of the exhaust. The tips, they're skull tips. They look like skulls.
Yeah.
I was looking for 4-inch tips because obviously I wanted to put something on there. I just didn't know what I wanted. So I was looking out to see what people had out there. Motorcycles were pretty much the only thing that come up for 4-inch tips. So it's like, all right, cool. Well, I found these cast skulls for 4-inch tips. I'm like, those are freaking cool. And then I looked at the price and went, son of a bitch. They were like $86 a piece.
Oh,
they're custom casted. So I ordered 2. And then like a month later, I ordered 2 more. And then like a month later, I ordered 2 more.
That's how we buy tires around here.
Yeah. I actually go to my buddy Chuck up here at Central Tire in Owensville. I go up there and he's just like, you burn them off yet? Yep, I need some new ones.
You already know why I'm here.
Yeah, I always get used tires, and he always does me good, so I can't complain with the prices he gives me. The tires I got on now, there's a crap ton of tread on there, which means a lot of smoky burnouts.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And of course, for our listeners out there, we'll share all these wonderful videos and pictures and stuff of this one, because I mean, to each their own. You have so many different genres of car culture out there. And, you have the guys that are hardcore into hot rods, the traditional street rods, and then classics, just for cruising. And then you have, the rat rod guys. And rat rods, like, they get a bad name. And then there's 2 ways you go about it. You either love it or you hate it. And there's no in between. Like, and I really do. I love the artistic side of a lot of people who are building cool shit. And when I saw your car, I was like, man, that thing is fucking rad.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Now, that means a lot. I like hearing positive notes about that car. I've definitely put – I couldn't even give you an amount of hours I have building that thing. It's been completely taken apart multiple times because I want to do something different. I hate seeing what everybody else has, and then I have something like them. It's like, shit. So there's definitely a lot of time and, labor and some very odd shit put in there, but I get a lot of good compliments on it. And I can tell you this, that there's multiple styles of rat rods, because there's traditional rat rods, which is most of your like Greaserama guys, which, are assholes, in my opinion. They don't want to see any rat rods with wheels over 16 inches. They don't want any engines or engine parts past a certain date. Obviously no LS or Coyotes or, well, if you want to put those crappy motors in there. They don't want to see electronic stuff. They want to see like old stuff like nail heads. They want to see flat heads, early style V8s and stuff like that. And my buddy wanted me to go to Greaserama, and I read their rolls, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I even want to enter this, because they pretty much put it in big letters, no clown rods.
Oh, wow.
Clown rods is the term. And basically their thing on there, because I actually emailed them about it, and they told me, no, we don't want your clown rod here. And I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. Like, you really call my shit a clown rod? Because I messaged them back, and they blocked me, because I was like, listen here. I was like, if I roll up there and I heard you call my shit a clown rod, I was like, you be enjoying the rest of your fucking day with no teeth. I promise you that. That's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. But don't call my shit a clown rod, especially considering it looks better than half the shit that's in there.
Yeah. I think there's a certain type of way of saying, of letting someone else enjoy what they've done to their car without shitting on them or being a dick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've legit seen some clown rods, and people who throw shit on shit to make more shit call it a rat rod.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Again, to each their own. That's a different style of rat rod.
Yeah, no, in the traditionalist style of things, in the custom world, of course we call those jalopies. It's like a traditional style hot rod that's built with traditional parts, and things that were like you said, nothing older than a nail head or a flathead engine, or some of the oddball Oldsmobile stuff. They dig that shit, but then they it may not be painted, or it may not have all matching parts, but it's traditionally put together how somebody would have done it so many years ago. And that's one style of car. That's kind of typically that's kind of the style of car that I am drawn to. And then we've had rat rods in our in our driveway, and we've had things that it's not traditional.
Boats.
Yeah.
We've had boats.
We've had boats. No. The Plymouth. Oh my God. Our Plymouth was just, it took up half the driveway.
It took up all the driveway.
Okay,
Nobody
all
could
the
even
driveway.
park.
Boat cars, they're still pretty though.
Oh, they're my favorite. Everyone's like, don't you want to go fast? I'm like, no, I want to look cool as fucking shit coming down. I don't give a shit how fast I am, because you'll slow down to look at me.
I'll tell you what, cars are like girls. They're always good with a big booty on them.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Big ass fins in the back. Oh.
Yeah, our 60 Plymouth, man, that thing was freaking rad. But yeah, we didn't have to go fast in that car. I mean, we'd drive 30 miles an hour down the highway. People would still
lowrider style. You're low and slow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Some cars are just meant to just enjoy. Mm-hmm. Not to barrel down the road ungodly speeds, because I can tell you right now, I don't want to go fast in my rat rod. I don't know what the hell is going to fall off when I hit 100+ mile an hour.
I feel bad for the person behind. Be like, oh shit.
Yeah, right. If it falls off, that's the guy behind you problem.
Right. I was using that GPS tracker for my speed, because I have attack and everything in the car, but I could not tell you what gear I need for it, because the Turbo 350s have the different colored gears. Different colored gears are a lot of math involved, because you need to know your final gear drive in this transmission. You need to know your rear end gears in this transmission, and then you have to take all this and you have to calculate it to tell you what color gear you need, because they're all different sizes to make your speed accurate, because it's a cable. And my shit does about 55 mile an hour. I show 85. So I'm nowhere near it. So I always use this app, this GPS app, whenever I'm cruising a rat rod, because I have no freaking idea how fast I'm going. we're actually doing that photo shoot that I sent you some pictures. My daughter was actually riding with my friend, which was the other pinup girl, Celeste. My daughter was riding with her and the Trailblazer behind me. And me and her husband were in the rat rod. And we got out here on a straight stretch. And I just got that blower scoop box on there, right? And I was kind of wanting to see how fast I can take it before it got stupid. Well, I just gunned it. I looked down and my GPS says 105, and I'm like, oh, bullshit. So I hit the brakes. Because with that big block, you just go.
That's hilarious.
And I was just like, I was just watching this thing just cruise, and we're on a nice straight stretch, so it's kind of hard to tell how fast you're actually going. But as soon as I see down, I see my phone say 105. I'm like, bitch, you ain't built for this. We're slowing down.
Well, when Sama used to drive ours, I'd be behind her in a daily driver and monitoring how fast we were going by what speedometer in my car is, right? And I'd be watching other cars on the road try to wave at her, because they see this hot chick driving a rat rod with no roof on the top of it, and they're trying to flag her down. They trying to wave at her, and
I'd be doing the same thing. Just saying.
And this
I mean,
one
my
guy,
kind of girl, she's single.
This one guy pulled up next to her, and he damn near ran her off the road trying to get her attention.
I was so fucking mad. I was so I'm like a fucking horse with blinders on. I don't pay attention to anything near me. I'm just like, just go, make sure you're clear. Because if I love to the point where I know I'm going fucking fast, I'll zoom through everybody. I'm like, oh, this truck is squirrely. Let's fucking make it squirrely. And he's just like, are you okay? I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. I just like fucking with people. It's fun.
So
yeah,
I see this go on, and she's like, okay, I need to get out of this situation. I can see her just gun it, right? So I'm like, okay, well, now I have to gun it. And I'm pushing on the pedal and just following her through traffic. I look down, and we're doing 95 miles an hour, and she's pulling away from me. And I'm like, I'm doing 95. She's got to be doing 105.
That was my magic number, and I about shit myself. I was like, nope.
Yeah, no, that thing was wild. Absolutely. So, but Jeremiah, we absolutely appreciate you being on the show, man. Is there anybody that you'd like to give some shout outs to? Any folks out there you want to make famous for the next 10 seconds?
Oh, yeah, sure. Like I said, my buddy Peanut, Ted Beat, he helps me out with a lot of my welding projects, my fabrication. We got to tear a head apart here soon and check for a valve seal, because I'm leaking oil out of cylinder 2. It's not burning it, nothing serious. It's just kind of throwing it out the pipe, so I think it's a valve seat. But that's the guy I always go to help me with stuff. So we're going to throw a shout out to him, because without him, I wouldn't have my badass headers.
Hell yeah.
Or it's hard to find somebody crazy enough to be like, yeah, let's do it. Especially when it's an idea from this guy. So definitely going to throw a shout out to him.
Cool, man. Well, all of our listeners out there, we absolutely appreciate you. Absolutely. Because we would not be able to be doing this podcast if it wasn't for everybody who bugs me on Tuesdays wondering when the next episode's going to come out.
I'm glad it's all on you, because nobody bugs me about it. I'm like, I will not reply.
I love it. Yeah, no.
Will not reply.
I love it. Every Tuesday, we have the new episode come out, and if that thing is 5 minutes late, I swear my phone is blowing up. Where's the new episode? Did y'all not record? Did y'all not do this? Yeah, no, and I love it. I really do. So if you're not hearing this in a timely manner that you think you should be, go ahead and call me and let me know. So, folks, we will let you get back to your normal daily lives. We are going to do the same. And in all things custom, keep it cool.
Bing, bang, boom. See you next Tuesday.
Don't say see you next Tuesday.
I can poop anywhere.
We know.